Most people think mindset is about confidence, positivity, or motivation. They believe that if they just think better, work harder, or stay optimistic, life will eventually reward them. That belief sounds harmless, but it's misleading. Because mindset is not about how you feel, it's about what you accept as normal. Mindset is not something you choose once. It's built slowly, through repetition. Through school, work, family expectations, and social pressure. Over time, you start believing certain limits are just how life works. Not because they're true, but because everyone around you accepts them. This documentary is not about motivation. It's about how mindset is shaped, why it keeps people stuck, and what actually changes it. From a young age, you are trained to follow systems, not question them. School rewards obedience more than curiosity. Jobs reward consistency more than thinking. You learn to wait for grades, for promotions, for permission. Slowly, this waiting becomes part of your mindset. You are taught that stability is success, even if it comes with dissatisfaction. A predictable salary is praised, risk is discouraged, and ambition is acceptable only if it doesn't disrupt the system. Over time, you stop seeing alternatives because you were never shown any. This is how mindset is formed, not through one big decision, but through small, repeated conditioning. Most people work hard. That's not the problem. The problem is where and how that effort is used. The system rewards leverage, not effort. Two people can work equally hard, and only one moves forward, because one is positioned better. Mindset plays a role here. If you believe your value comes from time spent, you will always sell time. If you believe effort alone creates success, you will ignore systems, scale, and ownership. This belief keeps people busy but replaceable. Hard work without leverage doesn't fail immediately. It fails slowly. And because it fails slowly, most people never realize what's wrong. Most people don't wake up one day and decide to stay average. They drift into it, slowly, quietly, one routine at a time. The system doesn't need to block your ambition. It just needs to delay it long enough for life to pile up responsibilities. You start telling yourself there's time later. Later to learn, later to build, later to take risks. But later keeps moving forward, and your energy keeps moving backward. This is how people get trapped without ever feeling trapped. The system reinforces this by rewarding short-term stability. You get paid just enough to survive, just enough to stay distracted, just enough to feel irresponsible for wanting more. And once survival is covered, ambition starts to look unnecessary, even dangerous. Over time, you confuse movement with progress. You're busy all day, exhausted at night, and you mistake exhaustion for achievement. But being busy doesn't mean you're moving forward. It just means you're occupied. What really keeps people stuck is not lack of intelligence, but fear disguised as logic. Fear of losing comfort, fear of judgment, fear of starting from zero. The system encourages these fears by calling them being realistic. Eventually, questioning the system feels pointless. You stop asking why things work the way they do and start focusing on coping better inside them. That's the moment mindset stops being conscious and becomes automatic. And once mindset becomes automatic, escape feels impossible. Most advice people receive sounds helpful but changes nothing. Work harder, stay consistent, believe in yourself. These phrases are not wrong, they're incomplete. And incomplete advice is more dangerous than bad advice. The system prefers advice that keeps you functional. Advice that improves your performance without changing your position. That's why motivation is celebrated. Motivated people don't question the structure, They just push harder inside it. This creates a cycle. You get inspired. You work harder. You burn out. You blame yourself. Then you repeat the process. The system stays intact, and you stay convinced the problem is you. What's missing from most advice is context. No one explains how money actually scales, how ownership works, why effort without leverage has a ceiling. Instead, you're taught to optimize behavior while ignoring structure. Even discipline, when misunderstood, becomes a trap. Discipline without direction only makes you more efficient at doing the wrong things. You become better at surviving, not escaping. This is why mindset advice alone doesn't work. Because mindset without understanding systems just creates obedient, exhausted people who think they're failing when the game itself is designed that way. Real change begins only when advice shifts from try harder to see clearly. Until then, most people stay motivated and stuck. The solution is not changing how you feel, it's changing how you see. Most people try to fix their lives by fixing motivation, confidence, or habits, but they never question the structure they're operating in. If you don't understand the structure, every effort you make stays limited, no matter how disciplined you are. The first real shift is understanding that the system rewards position, not intention. It doesn't care how hard you try. It cares where your effort is placed. Working harder inside a system that doesn't scale you will only make you more efficient at staying stuck. Once you see this, you stop asking, "How do I push more?" and start asking, "What actually compounds?" Compounding doesn't mean waiting forever. It means building things that keep working after the effort is done. Skills that improve with time. Assets that don't depend on hours. Knowledge that gives leverage instead of fatigue. Most people never do this because the results are delayed, and the system trains people to expect immediate rewards. The second shift is responsibility, not blame. Responsibility. The moment you stop blaming the system, your parents, your job, or luck, you regain control. Blame feels good, but it keeps you powerless. Responsibility is uncomfortable, but it gives you options. This doesn't mean quitting everything overnight. That's another trap. Real change is strategic, not dramatic. You learn quietly, you build quietly, you test without announcing it. The loudest people are usually the least free. The final shift is patience without passivity. You don't rush, you don't freeze. You move consistently while everyone else is distracted. That's how exits actually work, not through rebellion, but through understanding and positioning. No one will tell you this clearly, because if more people understood how the system really works, fewer people would accept the default life it offers. This documentary isn't here to motivate you. It's here to make you aware. And once you see the system clearly, your mindset stops being something you work on. It becomes something you outgrow.